afternoon. My name is Ruth, and today I'll be giving a presentation about credit history. A credit score is typically a number that ranges from 300 to 850. That ranges from 300 to 850. It's typically used to let lenders know how good you pay back your loans. If you owe any debt, or it lets you get into an apartment, or if you want to borrow money. A credit score is usually broken down into, it has three different bureaus. I think Experian, FICO, and TransUnion. Those three credit bureaus keeps up with the score that you make. A credit score typically has 35%. It tells you about 35% how much you use, 10% of how many new accounts you opened, 5% about how much you use it, and I'm guessing about 35% of how much you pay back. And it usually tells bankers if you are a good payer of how you use your credit card. A credit score is very important because it can get you into a lot of things, like opening a business, or like having an apartment, or getting a loan, or like trying to borrow a loan for school. And the more you pay it back, the better chance you are of getting lower interest when you are looking to purchase a mortgage or a house, or like a bigger purchase. It lets the lenders trust you enough to borrow you a big lump sum of money, knowing that you pay it back when it's time to pay it back. And usually I would say you have to pay the full amount, so that way your credit can rise up whenever you want to borrow again. And I would say you shouldn't open a lot of credit. You shouldn't open a lot of accounts when you are just first starting to get into using the credit score, because you don't know. You have to get used to it, like paying it back, so you can build your credit history. And the more you build your history, the better chance you are of getting things that you need to get. And usually it's a bad thing if you have like 5 credit accounts open within a year, because that's showing them that you are kind of in debt a little bit. And I would say, I believe you should have about 1 to 2 accounts open at least, and try your best to pay it back in time. That way you won't get a bad credit history on your record. And it's very important to have a good credit history, because it tells your lenders that you're very trustworthy. Especially most jobs look at your credit score. If you are like wanting to be a banker, or any type of job that deal with financial problems, they look at your credit score to see can they trust you with money, and if you are actually good with handling money and spending and all of that good stuff. I would say that if you are just starting to learn about credit scores, you should do research on it, talk to somebody that knows about credit scores, and just not, when you get approved for a credit score, you probably get like, they start you off about 300, and the more you pay it back, and the more you use the credit, the more credit they add on to you. But just don't max out your card, because it'll put you at a debt if you are not able to pay it back. If you are not able to pay back the full amount in time. And it usually charges you like every month. It have a day of a month that you will have to pay it back. So let's say you use your credit card on this month on the 6th. Then your payment is on the 17th of next month. And let's say you used about 500 out of 700. You have to pay the whole 500 back, because if you don't, they are going to add you interest. If you just pay $250 and leave the rest of it and say next month I'm gonna pay you back, they will add your interest. And the more you don't pay it back, the more interest it adds. Thank you for listening to my speech.